Hi, I'm Fox. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. We'll begin at the front of our mat in mountain, or at the top, sorry. Just taking some deep breaths. Maybe on the exhale, really sighing it out. Just breathing deeply. We're going to do some shoulder rolls, rolling the shoulders up and back. Opposite direction. And then we're going to do some half circles with the neck. Just warming up the spine, the upper body. Maybe going for full circles. Just doing whatever feels best. Opposite direction. Then we'll come back to stillness. Bring our palms by our sides. Face up, open. Bringing our feet mat width distance. And just swaying side to side, closing the eyes. The theme of today's class is forgiveness. Whether this is forgiving yourself or people in your life or situations, we can bring in the affirmation maybe of I forgive or I forgive myself. It's really opening up the body. And bring our feet back to center and kind of still with that swaying, just kind of shaking, just doing some movement with the body. Shaking out the hands, just imagining yourself shaking off all that's holding in that resentment, that anger, just shaking it off. You can maybe jump, just whatever feels best. Welcome back to center, back to stillness. Just taking a second to feel the energy, noticing how you feel, how the mind feels, how the body feels. Now we're going to bring the left foot back and we are going to come in to Warrior Two. Breathing deeply. And then bringing our hips to face the front of our mat. Bring those toes to about a 45-degree angle, a bend in the front knee. We're going to come up, Warrior One. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, we're going to come up into Galloping Horse. Engaging that core, pressing firmly through the feet. And we can bring back up to Warrior Two. And we'll straighten that front leg and come down for triangle, bringing our front palm to our shin. Maybe you can bring it down to your foot to the mat. Just doing whatever is best. Not causing yourself any pain. Now we'll engage that core, come back up to Warrior Two. And then we're going to come in, high lunge. Engaging that core, tucking that tailbone down. We can bring our left hand out in front of us and bring the other arm behind for a high lunge twist. Engaging those feet. Energetically lifting through the kneecaps. And we'll come back up. High lunge. And then we can come back to mountain. Breathing deeply again. Maybe bringing one hand to the heart, one to the lower belly. Just taking a second to ground back in to the earth. Now, staying at the front of our mat, I'll just move. We are going to try to sink into hips, coming up into the heels of the feet. Toes, feet parallel to each other, sinking into those hips, trying to straighten the spine for chair. A big thing we want to be careful with is not letting the knees go past the toes. So engage in that core, really shifting the weight off of the toes. You can maybe have the toes lifted off the mat. Five more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back up to mountain. Then we'll bring that right foot back and come into warrior 2 on the opposite side. Breathing deeply, length in the spine. Then we're going to bring those toes in a bit, square our hips to the front of the mat, bend into the front knee. Bring our arms up, warrior 1. Inhale, length. Exhale, galloping horse. Pressing firmly through those feet. Engaging the core, squeezing in the lower belly. Remembering to breathe. And then we'll come back to warrior 2. Bring those toes back parallel to the short edge of the mat. We'll straighten that front leg and come down for triangle. Breathing deeply. Looking up to the sky if you can. And those shoulders stacked. And engaging the core. We'll come back up. Warrior 2, sorry. And then we'll come in to high lunge. Now from high lunge, we're going to move into that twist. Engaging the core. Pressing firmly through the 4 corners of the feet. And we'll come back up. High lunge. And then we can step forward back into mountain. Again, really breathing into the belly. Noticing the rise and fall. The belly. The sensations. The air going in and out of your nose. Our arms up to the sky, palms together. And exhale, swan dive forward. Really breathing. Again, using the sound of your exhale to help you relax more into your body. We'll plant our hands, step back to downward dog, lifting those hips up, engaging the core, pressing firmly through the fingers, especially the thumb and forefinger. Trying to press those heels into the mat. Then we can drop those knees, bring the palms up a little bit higher, and we can bring the forehead down to the mat for puppy pose or melting heart. Imagining your heart space filling up with forgiveness. Having the hips directly over the knees. Taking deep breaths. We can press ourselves back up. Come into a seated position. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together into butterfly and just do a little butterfly motion with the legs. Releasing some of those emotions from the hips, some of the anger, the resentment. I forgive. I forgive myself. Then we'll come into stillness, really straighten that spine. And exhale, fold forward a little bit, hinging from the hips. Coming down as low as this feels comfortable today. And again, with that theme of forgiveness, remembering to forgive yourself. Maybe you haven't practiced in a while. Maybe you haven't taken care of yourself. Maybe it's just been a hard time. Remembering to have patience for yourself. Forgiveness. That radical acceptance for the things that you sometimes cannot change. And knowing what you can. Which is your mindset. Which is your emotions. And we're going to push ourselves back up. Crossing the legs. Taking one last deep breath. Lifting those arms up to the sky, palms together. And exhale. Heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.